know there's a lot of surface area up here, but let's pay attention to what's over here, okay? I'm gonna be using my Airspun translucent extra coverage setting powder. Just gonna stamp on some powder, pressing it into the skin because oil does not discriminate, okay? If your skin get oily, your brows could possibly get oily too, and that is the case with me. I do have oily skin. So now that we have prepped the brows, I love these brow pencils. They are super affordable and they are just amazing. They do the job. So I'm gonna brush my hairs upwards. I would use a liquid mattifying primer before, but now I just like to use a powder because it's easier. I'm using my black and brown eyebrow pencil from Colourpop, and I'm just gonna start outlining the bottom of my brow. It's okay if it's really dark, don't get scared. It's gonna help us in the long run. So I'm just gonna follow, for the most part, I'm gonna follow my natural arch. But I also like to take it out a little bit straighter than my natural brow hairs. I know a lot of people's concern might be like not having a natural brow shape, but try your best to draw and outline the shape that you want. And if it's not perfect, we're gonna go in with concealer and fix that a bit later. So I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other side. You don't wanna apply too much product out of the pencil because then it would break. If it helps to like lift up your eyebrow to get that arch, you definitely can. With my Morphe eyebrow brush, I'm basically just going to be moving that product that we applied upwards, so that pencil is really gonna help us actually fill in our brow without actually using a powder or a pomade. So just try your best to use what you have already, and then afterwards we're gonna fill in the rest of the brow. Your brows naturally have a gradient, so it's from light to dark. So I just try to keep as little product in the front of my brows as possible. I personally don't draw the line on the top of my brows and connect it how a lot of people do. I just feel like it's not 100% necessary. If you're having a difficult time drawing that line and connecting it, try this method. This method might work for you, and it's not that difficult in my opinion. So look, the brow already looks good, and we didn't even apply no pomade, no product, nothing. All we did was draw that one line on the bottom, and then we just faded it up. Honestly, I could leave my brow like this. I'm just gonna do the other side, moving that product upward. It's okay if you get messy because we're gonna clean everything up afterwards. And if you notice, I'm not pushing it up too high. I'm pushing it up where my natural brow hairs would start or end, if you will. Just use my spoolie to clean up as I go and brush the product through. Now we're gonna go in with the Benefit Foolproof Brow Powder in the shade number 5, and I'm gonna take this first shade. And the good thing about these products is that they basically show you how your eyebrow should look from lightest to darkest, how it has that natural gradient. Sometimes I listen to the instructions, sometimes I don't. I kind of just do whatever I'm in the mood for. I'm gonna take the lighter shade, and I'm gonna start by filling in those crevices in the brow. Since I do have sparse brows, what you want to do is use the powder to cover in those bald sections. And if you're still having a difficult time covering it, go backwards. It's gonna help cover in those crevices that you're not covering when you're going in this motion. So try to go backwards. Go forward and reverse on the brow and see if that actually helps you guys. So you're gonna go forward and backwards. Don't be too aggressive. You don't want to have your eyebrow hairs falling out. And then I'll just take a little bit of that darker shade and try to go backwards, forward and backwards on that bald spot. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye, and the good thing about doing one eyebrow first is that you're gonna have residue on the brush left over, so it's gonna be a lot easier. This is going to prevent really dark brows. You don't want to go straight in with powder if you don't need it, so definitely utilize what you have first and then add more. Just be careful not to go too far out. Sometimes if I'm having a hard time with the front of my brow, I just try to make hair-like strokes. I'm just gonna take a flat synthetic brush like this. I'm just gonna be applying the concealer like so. I like to hold the brush where I'm comfortable. Sometimes I'll lay my brush flat, and then sometimes I'll just use it on an upwards position to try to get in that arch of the brow. And if your eyebrow is too thick for your liking, this is probably a good time to help clean it up. Hopefully I like this shape of my brow. Just be careful. Try not to mess up the brow. Let's go ahead and conceal the other one. I am raising my eyebrows upwards to just try to help clean up. And then the good thing about cleaning up your eyebrows with concealer, it's great for an eye base. So I actually am going to film a look after this. And then you can also use that residue to help clean the tops of your eyebrows. I usually clean the top of my eyebrows with foundation, but I'm actually going to clean it up just for the sake of the video. So now I'm going to take my deluxe crease brush, and it's a great brush for blending out concealers and liquid. So we are going to be pressing this concealer. It's okay if you get some on the tail of the brow, because you can always go back in and fix that. I like to go in with my spoolie, try to pre-clean it up before I actually go in at the top, just so it's less work. I'm gonna take my NARS foundation. Oh, that looks really good in this shot. And I'm gonna take my same brush that I use for the bottom of my brow. Just taking the littlest amount of foundation. I usually do this when I'm doing my full face, so it's just easier that way. I'm gonna try to get as close to the brow as possible. I know this part could be scary, but you got this. And then you want to try your best to use like the shape of the concealer brush to help shape out and conceal your brows. I hope that made sense. So you see how this concealer brush, if you press it down, it's just gonna follow where you want it to go. Now I do have some excess hairs sticking out of my brow. Like I said, I don't particularly follow the natural shape of my brow all the time, because sometimes I don't like the natural shape of my brow. If it's looking crazy, I'm not gonna follow that shape. I'm gonna try to enhance it. There we go, that's our brow. If you like it thinner, just make your brow thinner. This is how I like my brows. I'm just enhancing my natural brows. My tip would be not to go immediately as close to the brow. Maybe go a little bit higher and then push that product down, because if you just go straight onto the brow and if you mess it up, it can be frustrating. So try to get close to the brow, but it don't have to be like right on the brow. And then work a little bit downwards each time. I'm trying to get closer and closer to the brow. So I hope that makes sense, because I know I be confusing myself at times. So I'm just gonna blend this out. Girls who be connecting their brow, I be like, why? Isn't necessary. This is not geometry class, but it is geometry class at the same time. But I don't want to think about math. I was not one of those kids who like math. We're mathematicians, okay? Put it on your resume. You never took AP geometry? You really did. So yes, the front of my brows be pissing me off. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it pisses a lot of y'all off. But I basically try to go in with my brush very lightly with the most minimal product on and try to fade the front. Having sparse eyebrows, I feel like it's more difficult to fix the front of your brows. So I just try my best. Okay, so this is how my brows are looking right now. It's a lot better than what we started with. If you guys don't see me with my eyebrows on in the streets, don't even acknowledge me, because I'm having a bad day. Because I bring my eyebrows with me everywhere. So if they not with me, I don't know who that lady is. It's not me. Last step would be setting your eyebrows. If you feel like your eyebrows are wiping off very easily or they're not lasting throughout the day, try an eyebrow gel. I like to use these two. This is the Morphe eyebrow gel at the top. And then this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow gel. This is the mini one, and I like both of them. The top one more for everyday use, and then the Anastasia one for when I need my brows to look good all day. I'm using my ABH one, but since it's quarantine and we ain't going nowhere. So another reason why I think eyebrow gels are beneficial is because they keep those hairs up, and they also take off excess product if you apply too much. If you think you went a little bit heavy-handed with your brow, these will help lighten them up, and it just adds like those hair-like holds to your brow, making them look more realistic. Bada bing, bada boom. By the way, these are clear eyebrow gels, if I didn't mention that, because I know there are colored ones. These are both clear. So these are how my brows are looking up close and personal. So this is my eyebrow routine for oily skin, for sparse eyebrows, for anyone who has eyebrows. You're blessed. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. Listen, I don't show my brows to just anyone, okay? So do me a favor and subscribe and join the family. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you like what you see, definitely let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys think this was helpful or not, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.